Take this and like it, chuds. You're forced to use an ugly woman in our game, you misogynist bigots.
I remember that.
Please, chuds, come back. We made her look normal, and we even gave her a
Let's
choker.
go.
We would never have mocked you.
It's still gonna be, if they took the woke design out of the game completely, it's gonna be a broken mess, and you're gonna be able to tell what they did. I think it was inherently, from the ground up, made with gay in mind.
If we knew how many of you there were.
I think it's gonna be really boring. I think it's gonna be mid. Gonna be so safe that it's for nobody.
I like you begging. Do it again.
What's up, space pirates? This is your admiral, the hilariously heinous Dr. Disaster.
I'm not buying it.
And the more I look at the situation, the game Fable, and
The more it makes me want to play the original ones again.
how things have transpired over the years, the more convinced I am that this character here was meant to be the only playable character shoved into gamers' faces like a scalding cup of coffee.
Well, how the hell did you get out? Now get out!
You have to think that this game was initially conceived.
I don't even care about the main character that much. Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, the character's ugly, but I knew that there was going to be some kind of customization, even if it's just picking a few faces. That's not what I was really worried about, which that is, just another box that got checked for me checking the fuck out. But this guy, the fucking NPCs, they look like modern people that you would see in Concord, like they're cosplaying as medieval. That's what it really seems like.
During what I think of as the peak woke years, right around 2020, when feminist prudes were dictating everything in the industry and companies were acting as though their weird ideas were big seller, never minding the fact that those people don't typically buy video games in large numbers. They just whine about normal men enjoying games in order to hijack and control the industry. They seem to take pleasure.
It looks too realistic. I want a cartoonish, over-the-top, in quotes, ugly Fable. I don't want one where they're trying to pretend that ugly is beautiful.
In making sure that the average gamer chud does not enjoy what AAA studios are making, which explains why this character here was featured so prominently in the first two major trailers of this game. If you rewatch these trailers, the fact that she is ugly as hell is actually a prominent part of the reveal. The NPCs react to her hideousness in a way that suggests this was the story they wanted to tell. They reacted to the ugliness like you would expect anyone.
And everything's got that fucking fog, that haze over it. I hate it so much, man. I like everything to be static and look like it was right out of a fairy tale, right out of a storybook.
I am hideous?
You are horrifying.
They tried to go for that realistic look, and that's not what Fable was.
The problem was that the NPCs weren't the only one to react that way to this character. Gamers did too. I think the idea was that this studio, which looks like this these days by the way, but Playground Games thought they would make a character that looks like this, and they thought the average woman would see that on the cover of this video game sitting on a shelf at Walmart or Target or whatever, and they think that the average woman can relate to that or something, and they would need to pick it up because all of a sudden they'd want to be a gamer once they saw that. The problem is that the gamer chuds, who make up the vast majority of the gaming audience, they don't like that sort of shit at all. And the trailers for the game,
Yeah, I don't want to see Debbie from Dollar General in my fucking games.
which were largely cinematic trailers built around the character being ugly as hell,
While all of the backgrounds look realistic as hell.
meaning that was the story they were trying to tell, but those trailers never showed any other playable character, and they were ratioed into
And that looks like the dude from the new Metroid game.
oblivion on the Xbox Games Showcase trailers for the year 2023 and 2024, and then they went into hiding for a long while afterward.
Run away! Run away! Run away!
Well, It has been somewhere in the neighborhood of around 8 years since this game was first being developed, and it looks like it is finally going to get released in February. But now there is a new person in charge at Xbox, and I don't think this is a coincidence that the short trailer that they just
It's like they went into the video editor and they boosted the shadows and made them brighter and boosted the brightness and turned the saturation down.
put out for this game showed off a female rendition of the main character that doesn't actually look terrible. Believe it or not, it seems that Playground
Still looks too realistic. I don't want realistic, man.
is
I want a
actually
cartoon.
capable of making a female-looking character in the game where you aren't in
Yeah, cool. I still think it's going to be boring slop, and it's going to be too safe for it to actually be as good as the old Fable games. It's just going to be its own thing. It's going to be a bastardized version of what used to be, like everything else is.
instinctively looking at it and going,
I hope I'm wrong.
Idiots!
It's still going to be a different thing. I don't know why they didn't just make a spiritual successor like we used to do with games. If it was too big to be a sequel, make it a spiritual successor. They have to use an old IP or people won't buy it. 'Cause they're retarded. They don't know how to actually make things.
Alright, me hearties, there's a lot of content that needs to be discussed when it comes to this character change with regards to Fable. You have to see all the motivating factor that went into it. But first of all, let's look at the actual short little video clip that they
Where's
just
the
put
color?
out on the official Fable X account so that you can get an idea as to what they have actually changed. Here is the clip. So it's this brief little screenshot that is the reason that people are talking right now about Asha Sharma, the new head of Xbox, supposedly forcing the Fable devs to try to mend things with games.
Also, she's not a gamer herself, so she can make them make it look good, but is she going to be able to make it play good?
As you can see, this character doesn't look half bad, or at least it is much more feminine than what we were getting before. So let's look at the context to see why they would be trying to change things up for this game. So originally, the first teaser trailer for this Fable reboot, or whatever you want to call it, the trailer came out in 2020 and it didn't show much of anything besides some background images of what you would expect
You see the haze over there under the trees that's supposed to be like shadows?
to see in a Fable game, and naturally, people were quite pumped. But 3 years later, in 2023, at the game's showcase that year, they put out a new trailer where the hideous-looking female character was
So desaturated.
prominently on display, and as I said before, the NPC
Not saying that I want the color slop either, because that's usually what happens whenever they turn the saturation up.
characters made a big deal of reacting to this character's face, audibly gasping when she was revealed. The ugliness was literally the point of it. And if you look at the trailer here, take a look at that ratio, they got completely obliterated
But this is what characters actually look like. This is what real people look like. She looks like me!
by the like to dislike ratio with 26,000 likes versus
The people who get mad whenever people get, ratioed like this, whenever they release ugly characters, people that get mad at the people doing that look like the characters. They're basically seeing 64,000 people saying they look ugly, and they're fucking crashing out about it.
a whopping 64,000 dislikes. That is going on a 3-to-1 ratio. And the comment section on this video was chock full of stuff like this. This person wrote, "I don't understand why the giant's face is so realistic, but the adventurer's face is so uncanny."
I do, because they're trying to make everything realistic, and they think they're, in their worldview, that ugly is realistic, and everything else has to be pretty. As pretty as possible.
Anyhow, this
And it just ends up looking like everything else, because they're trying to make it look pretty and realistic,
This was the trailer the following year, which showcased only one character. It was the same exact one with the same exact ugliness, which tells you an awful lot about what they wanted to be the selling point for the game, and once again, they were ratio. This time, it was almost a 2-to-1 ratio with 22,000 likes versus 42,000 dislikes, and once again, we got a lot of comments talking about the character design. This guy here wrote, "I hope I can choose to play as a white heterosexual male who is very toxically muscular and handsome." Anyhow, as you can see, the response
Like Gaston, that's what I imagine that the main character of Fable should be.
this game was crappy, and we didn't really hear much from the developers in 2025 other than to tell us that they were delaying the game. I think that during this time they were busy adding a character creator because they realized that people were not having this shit at all. It would take a while to do this after all.
And these people, they look so fucking weird. All of the NPCs look weird. They would, if they went for the same types of people, but made it a cartoonish design and made everybody over the top and fairy tale looking, like with short, fat bodies, with like their hands too big and their heads too big, it would work. But they're trying to go for realism, and it looks fucking weird.
A character creator is no simple thing, especially if there was a lot of dialogue which revolved around the original character that we were being shown. But anyhow, have to remember that originally Fable was supposed to be released in 2025 or so, and then in the early part of 2026, the official Fable social media accounts put out some video of the game, and they showed off the character creator mode for the first time. And there are a few clues which show why I suspect that this was a late stage addition to the game. First of all, for a few years there, the only thing people were talking about when it comes to Fable was the fact that their character was uglier than hell. It was generating a lot of negative PR, and the simplest counter to if there was a character creator that existed, the simplest counter would have been to just tell us. Just say, hey, we chose this character for our trailers because we thought it was funny, but if you don't like that, you can make whatever character you want. There is a character creator. That would have been easy, but they didn't do that, which is quite telling. But another clue which suggests that this character creator was only recently added to the game is this footage right here, which came out around the time they started showing off the character creator.
Of course, they show a light-skinned black gay dude.
As you can see, this looks like a male character that the person is playing as. The walk for the male characters at first was extremely feminine. The character walked like a fairy princess. A while later, they showed off updated footage with male characters looking normal in their walk, but the thing is, this game has taken forever to make. By the time it releases in 2027, it will be damn near a decade that it took to come out. I've talked extensively about how much money this must have cost. I'm not going to go into it again.
Too much money, and it's going to be mid because of that.
Right now.
There's no passion, and they played it safe because they're just trying to make money. And as a corporation, you can't do that anymore. People are sick of it. They saw what you did. They saw what you're trying to do back then. They see what you're doing now.
But suffice to say, they will likely need to sell something around 6 million copies in order to break even,
and you know that they can't just break even.
The highest selling Fable game ever sold a little over 5 million. So that is why this stark change in the female character makes me think that Asha Sharma is trying to douse the fires of controversy with some water in order to bring gamers back, which I have to admit I do appreciate, at least to some degree. This image seems like nothing much, but it could be considered an olive branch. That being said, I am still not advocating that anyone.
How is this game gonna run? This looks like it's gonna take a lot to run it. It looks like it's not gonna run. It looks like it's gonna run like Oblivion whenever the remastered whenever it came out.
go out and purchase
Which
this
was
game.
not.
For me, unless something really radical changes, this is too little too late. And if you want to know the headspace of the devs in this studio these days, look no further than this video here, which I'm going to show you. It came from the Forza Horizon game from earlier this year that this studio put out, where they pander to the feminist gender ideologues with their character creator, which is just plain silly and stupid. Take a look.
You know when, like, you could tell that
Hey.
the character creator's so bad, like, you have no... It
I watch
doesn't give
her
you
streams.
any ideas. It doesn't inspire you to be a certain character. Oh my god, she has a big chin. All right, there you go. That's a dude. That's a something. Huh? What's the difference? Which one is the girl? Like, what the fuck? Hold on. You literally don't label... All right, as much as I wasn't going to make a big deal out of this, you choose not to label the gender options for the body. Then you put the character in super fucking baggy clothes. How am I supposed to tell who's supposed to be a bitch? How am I supposed to tell? Why y'all think I wear baggy clothes?
As far as I'm concerned, Fable still needs to serve as a warning for what happens when you intentionally pander to what is not the natural audience for a game like this. Anyhow, make sure to hit the like button on this video.
Oh boy, I can't wait for this game to come out. I can't wait for it to be a complete disaster. Because, like, even if it's good, they're not going to be able to make enough money.